So the Flash continues in its attempt to give Flash a send-off on a high note, and it's considering how bad the damage done to the show has been, this is probably about as good as it's gonna get. So they deliver an episode dealing into the mysteries of Eddie Thawne. And as the paradox has happened, my guess is the negative speed force saved him and then gave him a new identity, thinking he's, what's his name? Mark Gilbert or Marcus Gilbert or something like that. I forget. It doesn't matter because he's really Eddie Thawne. Apparently, living in, he was placed in a future time zone, but no one knew about him because he was living a life as this other guy. And they showed him live out the lightning bolt scene that gives the Flash his powers, and yet he doesn't seem to demonstrate any powers. I would have thought he would have by now. But anyway, he realizes who he is. He reaches out. He's looking for the Flash to try to explain what happened, why it didn't work. He goes to the Flash museums and sees that Reverse Flash survived. And he's like, "No, it's impossible. I killed myself, so he can't possibly exist," you know. But of course, he didn't die. He was saved by what appears to be the negative speed force, which creates a ginormous plot hole, even though they're trying to fix things as to how Reverse Flash could have kept on existing. So there's some fine themes. It's all rushed a bit, which is, I know, goes against my thing, is that, hey, they really needed to cut down on the amount of episodes and stuff, and they still did. They should have concentrated more on this plot than anything else for their final season, because he has to go from, you know, the good guy Eddie to possibly being seduced by evil, you know. And the problem is, he wakes up, his fiance has married Barry Allen, and she's going to have his kid and all this stuff. Cute Nora shows up again because they're in a future time when she's, you know, an adult and all that. We see Chester and Alexa, or Allegra, whatever. I can't remember. I think it's Alexa. Whatever. The light girl thing. And but boy, they haven't aged a day because they just can't afford. At least Iris, they show her with gray hair. I don't know why everybody else didn't. At least Chester should have had some gray here and there. But yeah, they didn't have the CGI budget nor the makeup to make them look older, because it's supposed to be like in 2040 something or other, 49 or something. I mean, yeah, you're gonna look a lot different by then. That's a ways away. So anyway, whatever. Cecil's got a new costume, and she's got the superhero named The Virtue. The Virtue Signaler. But whatever, she's a pretty girl, and she's in her suit and looks nice and all that. But then she's there to have her moment with Chester and say, "I don't think I can do this." "Yes, you can," and you know, that sort of crap. But it's brief, and they get through it. But meanwhile, Barry Allen shows up because he keeps getting zapped around by the negative force, which is blue for some reason. The rumor is that this will make Eddie Thawne become Cobalt Blue, another speedster villain from the Flash. But as I recall, the negative speed force was red because, you know, the Reverse Flash used it and all that. Whatever. So the Flash is telling Eddie that the deal, that the negative speed force is after him because it wants Eddie to be its avatar. It's used other people, and in this episode it uses Nora because Nora picks up the blue turd. Nora, don't pick up turds. But she did. So now she's possessed by the blue turd. But the blue turd really wants to possess Eddie. So why didn't it just do that in the first place? Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? you saved him from death when he went through the vortex and all that. And then you deposit him somewhere, I guess, for some backup plan. And now you're like, wow, he's the perfect candidate because he lost everything, and we can push him into being our evil servant and all that. And to get him to pick up the blue turd, you know. But that's the the seduction of Eddie, and says, Eddie, will you take the devil's bargain and pick up the blue turd? I guess so. But maybe in the end he'll sacrifice himself again. Poor bastard. So anyway, Barry's like, hey man, it sucks, but you don't want to do this. And then Iris talks to him, says, look, Eddie, I cared about you, sure, but I was really always in love with Barry. He's like, you don't mean that. And of course, the blue turd is telling him, it doesn't have to be this way, Eddie. You can have it all, and all this stuff. And then some of it is like Eddie goes, you're all going to be sorry you did this to me, and that kind of thing. He lashed out in anger and whatnot, but it's a bit much, but whatever. That's what you got to do to get him there. And to a certain extent, him being put through this, would drive anybody crazy. So if he just give himself 5 seconds to think it through, maybe he wouldn't. But anyway, that's the whole setup. And Cecil saves Nora from the blue turd by using her mind powers, because Nora just wasn't strong enough. Oh, well. So then she goes back to the Flash, says, I'm sorry, Daddy, and it's okay, honey, and that sort of thing. So all in all, despite the flaws, this is as good as it gets as far as the Flash. Now, did it have to be this bad? Well, considering the damage already done, I guess. But what are you going to do? So on to their final episode and how they'll wrap this up. They're making the attempt to try to tie up the loopholes left by some of the oddities, especially the Reverse Flash. And they still kind of screwed up here. Certainly with Eddie. It's like, why are you wasting your time with all these other people when you could have, you needed to have some kind of reason as to why you just couldn't go for him in the first place. But, whatever. So we'll see if they can defeat the blue turd next week on The Flash.